What's up, guys? Steve from Outside Our Garage, aka Nozilla. I got a package from Haltech probably about a month ago or so. Something I ordered to hook up to the car to advance some more of the sensor monitoring. They offered, this was I guess a relatively new product that they offered, their tire pressure management system, which also includes temperature, tire temperature as well. Nice little package. Tire monitoring system. This is the version with the external sensors that, with the replaceable batteries that last 1 to 2 years. They also make an internal sensor version that the batteries, I guess, are integrated into the sensor itself, and they have about a 3-year shelf life or so. I figured it would probably be easier to get the external ones since the batteries are replaceable and they don't require you to take the tires off. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this thing up today. I know that it's going to require some software updates to the ESP software, to the Elite firmware, and also to the IC7 firmware. So I'm going to go ahead and open this box up and take a look, and then we can probably install some software and then set it up in the car, see how she goes. Alright, so back to the box. Sorry for the slightly cluttered tool bench here. Still lots of drive-by-wire stuff we're working on, and all sorts of hardware and adapters and throttle bodies and stuff over here. But let's take a look. Alright. Looks like Windows isn't like Haltech. We're going to say it's okay. Hey, look, it's my reflection and a dirty laptop screen. Next. Install. Wow, this is a really exciting YouTube video, guys. I guess while I'm waiting for this, I'm not sure how many of you guys who follow or subscribe are on the East Coast, but we just got word yesterday that the 3rd annual Nissan Skyline meet on the East Coast is going to be held this year at Atlantic City. And it is going to be the largest meet to date, and Outside Our Garage has already signed up to be a vendor. So we got a big booth we're going to set up. Really looking forward to that, guys. I mean, that's usually one of the go-to meets that kind of drives me to push to get everything done, and you know, it's kind of like the main goal of the year to get to that. This year it's actually going to be a little bit sooner. It's going to be in August. So the push is already on to try to get some of the projects wrapped up from the winter and make sure that the car is absolutely ready to go. Right now it's sitting in the garage. It's filthy. There's some major changes coming to the interior, some major changes coming to the aero, and a lot of things going on underneath the car and with the transmission. Alright, looks like we updated to ESP 2.48 now. Alright. Cool. Alright, let's take this thing over to the car. Alright, so get the key on, ignition set. Let's hook up. Gonna load this up to the car right now. Car is ignition is set, is on. And then what we'll do is we're gonna try this firmware update, and then we'll do the same thing with the dash after that. All right, so after a little bit of work, we got this thing figured out. I had to sign into my Haltech online account, and you can see all the versions of the product software are here for the Elite 2500. So right now we're upgrading and uploading to the device the latest version for the 2500, and then after this we're going to do the IC7. Hey guys, finally got this thing installed. Ran into like a bit of a debacle. So there was like some firmware settings that needed to get updated. The ECU, the Elite 2500 ECU had to get updated. The IC7 had to get updated. And then there was also some other firmware where things like my wideband controller had to get updated. So I ran into some technical difficulties doing that. Got it all worked out. Basically what happened was I went immediately in and updated the Elite ECU firmware, and then it was telling me that I needed to update the wideband controller firmware, but the wideband controller firmware was continuingly to just drop out or disconnect when it was trying to update. It was telling me it was having issues and errors and stuff. I did a little bit of research online, and I found out that if you revert the ECU firmware back to a older version of it, then you can update the wideband and then go ahead and update the ECU firmware back again. So that's what I ended up doing. Went back and forth a few times, so more than a couple hiccups, but we got it all sorted out. The Tpms sensors are now installed on the wheels. I have the IC7 Dash updated with the tire pressure monitoring system enabled, like the views are enabled in there, which is pretty neat. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the ignition on and take a look and see what this thing looks like. Alright, so we're back in the car again. I don't know if you guys also saw this little quick release fire extinguisher mount down here. That's kind of neat. I'll do more in a video later for that, but for right now we'll focus on the TPMS. Alright, so let's get the key. Let's hit the ignition. You hear a little beep there. That's actually the TPMS controller turning on. Alright, so here is the screen. And this is one of the new IC7 screens specifically designed around these controllers. Now I was noticing this before the last time that I turned it on. You see, I think it takes a few seconds or maybe even longer for them to recognize the sensor. Like for instance, this one's picking it up. It wasn't initially, but now it's picking it up. You can see that it says 57 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 PSI, and it's reporting back there's no leaks, and there is 2.7 volts available in the battery, which sounds about right because those are small batteries. The rest of them, front left, right rear, have not been identified yet. So I'm not exactly sure why they're not identifying, or maybe they take a little bit of extra time to pop up. But you can see they're kind of like all maxed out right now, like as in it's not recognizing them. I did find that when I was just going around the car, I was unscrewing the sensors and they were picking up and starting to get recognized. So I'm wondering maybe once the wheels start spinning, maybe they'll start reporting the information. I'm almost thinking maybe there's like a motion activation in there to keep battery usage down, which is certainly a possibility. So we'll look more into that. But they give you this, and they give you another, well, here's the diagnostic screen. Here's like the main Haltech screen, the race screen, and here's like another screen that they give you for the tire pressure monitoring system. For me, this kind of looks a little bit easier to manage, keeping, you know, the tire information to the left and the other information to the right. So I'll probably use something like this. And again, like This will be kind of interesting on the track to see tire temperature, I think, and to see how much that affects, you know, the pressure, and it will certainly help with gauging traction and all that as well. Okay, so there you go. Everything reporting back. Can see immediately that my tire pressure is a little bit off. That's certainly worth investigating. I'm going to have to go back and double check those things, but my front left appears to be the lowest at 23. And then everything else plus or minus, you know, 3 psi or so. So, all right, cool. Definitely a very neat setup. I mean, overall, pretty easy to install, minus the firmware updates, which I'm not sure if everybody will have that same problem, but it was a little bit tricky. Other than that, definitely a really kind of cool, inexpensive sensor reporting slash gauge slash cool electronic update you can do to your car if you have a Haltech. Definitely would recommend. Check it out, guys. We actually sell Haltech products on outsidergarage.com. So if you want to be able to monitor your tire pressure, your tire temperature, whether or not you have a leak in your tire, and also the battery voltage of your sensors, really, really cool. So I am going to take this thing out probably maybe Friday or Saturday for some road testing and report back. All right, guys.